So I'm going back. Remember, istafti qalbak. So how do we explain? How do we reconcile searching? It's like soul searching. How do you feel in your heart? How do you feel about it? Even though, you know, you have some scholars, they give you fatwa, they say, you know what, don't worry about it. But how do you feel inside your heart? How do you reconcile this both? Who can tell me something? Because the Prophet said to him, istafti qalbak. Do you understand? And we know if you don't know, you ask. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. So now you ask and then you have the fatwa. But at the same time, how do you balance istafti qalbak and then you have the fatwa? Anyone? Yes.
Well, for something, you say you are doing something wrong. Let's say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said it's haram to consume alcohol. You drink, but you go to a sheikh, for example, to tell you, it's okay, you did something, but you still feel that it's wrong.
Fatah Allah alayhi. This is beautiful example. Beautiful example. So we're talking about riba. You know riba is haram. There are ayat in the Quran and there are hadith about riba. Well, with all due respect, so for example, you go to one of, you know, imams or sheikhs, he say, you know what, this is dar harb, don't worry, it's okay, you know, it's okay. Even though you look up to him as a person of knowledge, and he said to you, it's okay, you can deal with it. So even in spite of the fatwa that you have, istafti qalbak. How do you feel inside you? So you don't feel good, then it's not good. That's what the hadith means, istafti qalbak. You have to search in your heart. You have to consult your heart. It's very important. So I don't want us to take this out of context. In other words, you don't have any ilm from the Quran or the Sunnah. Something comes up, you know what? Yeah, remember the hadith? Istafti qalbak. Consult your heart. So now you have to be your own sheikh. No, 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 no. That's misconception. That's not what the hadith means. That's not what the hadith means. If you don't know, you ask. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. But this is also to explain that if something is not right, it doesn't feel right. That's the meaning. If it's not right, it doesn't feel right. No matter what, even if people will give you fatwa, inside, it's like, you know what? Yeah, the sheikh gave me fatwa, but I really don't feel comfortable. That is the meaning. Consult your heart. So let it go. Let it go. So the hadith is very important to explain to you righteousness, goodness. If someone tells you that you can go and steal from a kafir, or you're working with a kafir, don't worry about it, you know. He's not a Muslim, so even if you do something wrong to him, zulm to him is kafir, so don't worry. Istafti qalbak. How do you feel? How does it sit in your heart? Doesn't feel good. He's a human being. He's not a Muslim, yes, but he's a human being. He has right. So you don't take advantage of someone because he is not on your page. He is not a Muslim. So, and this examples goes on and on and on. So we'll stop here and take some few questions, inshallah, for tonight, and we'll end it. Any question? Yes, please. Use the mic, please.
Jazakumullah, Sheikh. I want to know what is the meaning of the wabisa.
Oh, it's a name.
Name.
Yeah,
okay.
But if you want to get the root name, I can get back with you, inshallah. But it's a name for now.
Oh, it's a name.
Yes.
Okay. What's the name of who's that person? What's the name of? Can you explain the name like you said the name? What kind of the name?
You want the meaning of the name?
Yeah.
I'll get back with you with that.
Okay, inshallah.
In general, name is a name, no matter what it is. But some names have connotations and some linguistic meanings. So I can get back with you, inshallah, about that. But for now, Wabisa is just a name. Like you say, Ma'abad, you have Sakhr, you have Kalb, Kilab, you know. So there are different names. So this is a name for now. But if you want to have like linguistic meaning of the name, inshallah, I can get back with you on that. Now, any other question? Brothers and sisters, any name? Any? You give me the name. Any question? Fadal, use the mic. Now.
What is the meaning of radiyallahu anhu?
Radiyallahu anhu. That's a beautiful question. Who can help me with that? What is the meaning of radiyallahu anhu? Come on, guys. What is the meaning of radiyallahu anhu? This is hadith number 27. We should remember that. Sisters, what is the meaning of radiyallahu anhu? Sisters, what's the meaning of radiyallahu anhu? Brothers, who's going to go? I'll start from the Yameen. I'll give it to you. Use the mic, please. Radiyallahu anhu.
It's the word radiyallahu anhu. It's the word the rida, which means pleased with. So may Allah be pleased with him.
Yes. So it's a dua, radiyallahu anhu. May Allah be pleased with him. So when we read the hadith, it's like you say, an Abi Hurairah, radiyallahu anhu. And like here we said, an Wabis ibn Ma'bad, we say, radiyallahu anhu. So we make a dua for them. May Allah be pleased with him. When we talk about a female companion, we say, radiyallahu anha. Radiyallahu anha. May Allah be pleased with her. Here, radiyallahu anhu, may Allah be pleased with him. It's a dua. Any question?
And this
yes.
And this applies only to the Sahaba, right?
Yes, for the Sahaba we say, radiyallahu anhu, radiyallahu anha. In general, radiyallahu anhum. Yes. Other righteous predecessors, when we mention them, we say, rahimahullah, ask of Allah to have mercy on him. For the Sahaba, radiyallahu anhum wa radu anhu. You have it in the Quran. Now, any question? Yes, please. Use the mic.
It's outside of the topic, but can I ask you?
Yes, please.
You mentioned about riba, or Brother Saeed mentioned. One of the brothers I work with keep asking me that he's having trouble finding house. He said 4 houses he's been in have been bought. So, and he's constantly looking for a house.
No.
Can that make it okay to go to the bank and get riba?
Okay, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi man wala. This is a very huge question, and you have scholars who have differences of opinion about this. So first, we know that riba is haram. Just to make that crystal clear. Riba is haram. There are ayat in the Quran, there are hadith to mention and to explain about riba. So anyone who denies that riba is haram, then he is not following the deen. So I just want to make sure that categorically we make that statement, riba is haram. Now, according to your question, someone who has pressing issue, he falls into the category of darura. Darura means necessity. And that is why you don't give general, fatwa, not at all times. Sometimes it is case by case. So in this example, someone who has a necessity due to the family and so forth, and has no any alternative but to get a place. First, for the purpose of dwelling in, living. It's not about business now. He needs a place for himself, for his family, and so forth, to raise them in a conducive environment, in a good house, keep them away from, like the issues that you have in a project, places where you have neighbors shouting, screaming, alcohol, drugs, and all that. Long story short, so back to the point, for the necessity, some scholars say that it is permissible for him, even if he has to go through conventional banking system, even if he has to go through that to buy the house. Why? Because he is dealing with darura, necessity. Scholars explain, وَالضَّرُورَةُ تُقَدَّرُ بِقَدَرِهَا. And necessity has to be defined accordingly. So someone might fall in darura, someone might not. So let's break this down. Look, it's one of the pressing issues that people deal with, especially Kharij Diyar al-Islam. All over the world, you need to have place. You need to have your own house. So for the darura, so remember that we are not saying it's halal. I just want to make that clear. We are not saying that it is halal. It is haram, but becomes darura. Like similar example, someone who is in a position, he doesn't have anything to eat, he doesn't have anything to drink. I'm just giving you an example, except haram, which is available before him. If the person did not eat and did not drink, because all what is available before him is haram, and he or she dies, he or she kills himself or herself. So you have to eat the haram to save your life, and drink haram to save your life, until Allah makes, a way for you to get out of it. So back to the question. It becomes a darura, the person, yes, even might go through the conventional banking system to buy a house through the riba. Why? Due to the necessity. Now, and I have someone who will say, it's okay, you can just help someone to pay his mortgage, but you don't go through it. So it is issue after issue and so forth. It becomes a darura, and some people, their best alternative is to go through it because of the darura. Now,
one more follow-up.
Yes.
But this person
Yes.
keep finding a place to rent, even though it's difficult for him to be kicked out all the time, but he can always get a place to rent. So would that make it a daruri? Yeah.
Yes, it is still darura. Because I heard you loud and clear. So the person, given the size of the family, he keeps moving from one place to another place. I understand. And look, before they rent you a place, they ask you, how many people are coming here? I get it. So they want to have you single, so that, but when you say, no, I'm coming with a family, how many? You and your wife, how many children? So, and I understand. So they can make any excuse to, get another person, then you go out and so forth. That is unsustainable in the long term. So it is a darura. You need to have a place to settle down for yourself, for your family. Now, the other case is that, now that I am settled, oh wow, that feels so cool. You know what I'm saying? Can I get another house? No. Can I get that's the business. You know what I'm saying? So no. This is your place. Sit down and so get a place that is comfortable for you, for your family. It is for darura. And like I said, just to be fair, you have some scholars who will say that no, qawlan wahidan. That no, it is what it is. But I will say that is going to the extreme. To be very honest, that is going to extreme. We don't want to see a Muslim and his family in the street, because that will happen. If you don't have a place and you cannot afford to buy a house, you be in the street. We don't want to see Muslim in a shelter. Do you understand? So it becomes a darura, meaning a necessity. So I will say, yes, go for it. And I will co-sign for you. No, I'm serious. Why? Because we want to see Muslims stable. To see Muslims, they have peace and tranquility to do their ibadah. Now, if a community, because this happens in some communities, have a team and then put money together and then help one person to buy a house. And then put money together and help another person. If it's something they can do, whatever we can. But at the end of the day, coming back to the question, if the only way for you is to go through the conventional banking system because of darura, yes, it is permissible for the darura. Now, please, go ahead.
You mentioned a little bit about people, for example, cheating because they are kuffars. It's okay to cheat them, something like that. There are Muslims who pray 5 times a day and they cheat.
Jazakallah khair. It is wrong.
Yes, it's wrong.
Yes.
To the degree that they compromise about their marriage, for example, they say they are divorced and then they collect.
I see what you're saying.
So, it
is wrong. It's not justifiable. So in other words, can Muslims take advantage of the system, and lie and cheat and say it's kuffar? No. it is haram to do that. It is not right. It is not right for Muslims to claim that they are divorced so that the wife can get some benefits and the children, and this is, going through the loopholes and manipulating. All this is haram. Even if you're dealing with the kuffar, it is haram. And I have seen, with all due respect, for example, I am a citizen, my wife is a citizen, so we divorce, just on paper. And just I go and marry someone, she goes and marries someone for dunya, because it's a process, for whatever benefits I will get, and she will, all this is haram. You don't do that. Muslims don't lie. ثلاث جدهن جد وهزلهن جد. In authentic hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, ثلاث, 3 things. جدهن جد, meaning when you do it seriously, it is serious. وهزلهن, al-hazl is to do it, you're just joking. It is still serious. First, al-nikah, married. So when you get married, you got married. So, oh no, Imam, this is just for paperwork. No, it is marriage. No, Imam, it's not Islamic marriage. We just did it in the court. It is marriage. And I want Muslims to hear this, because this is happening. I just want to just give my cousin papers, so do some paper. Come on, man. Nikah. So when you get married, you are married. Nikah. 2, at-talaq. Talaq is divorce. So when you say you divorce your wife, she is divorced. You divorce her. And the 3rd, ar-raj'ah. When you say you take her back, you take her back. So I'm just saying this to explain what the brother is saying. When you lie, when you cheat, all these are bad characteristics. Muslims don't do that, and it is sin. Now, faddal.
And this ties very well with the hadith we were talking about, being righteousness and good character.
Yes.
This is something this should be an example for Muslims.
Absolutely.
At all times. We're ambassadors. We represent Islam, especially given that a lot of spotlight is on the Muslims at the moment.
Yes.
We have to be very good character. I know when we first came to Canada in the early 90s, a lot of people were under the assumption that you can cheat the kuffar. You can give up, you can give them a false name when you put your telephone.
Just manipulate.
And just charge credit card, the same thing. This is wrong, whether they're Muslim or they're not Muslim. Cheating is cheating.
Yeah.
And Muslims should always be upstanding.
Straightforward.
Excellence, very good character.
MashaAllah. Alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Barakallah fiqh. Well said. MashaAllah, you just nailed it. It's very important. Some brothers not need to mention, details, and they just go and send their wives, take food stamps and all of that, while the men are capable and they're working and they have means, but they send their wives, take food stamps, claiming that they don't have it, and all. Muslims don't do that. So right is right and wrong is wrong, no matter what. So we have to take the high road and demonstrate good akhlaq. Good akhlaq. Any question before we end tonight? Question or comment? Yes, please.
What is the meaning of riba? Riba.
Oh, thank you. Who can explain that to him? Someone tell him, what is riba? Someone explain to him, what's riba? Come on, guys. So riba is interest. So let me just give you an example. I look at you, mashallah, you look very wealthy. You're a rich man. You know what I'm saying? So I come to you and I say, hey, my friend, I need help. So give me a loan of $1,000. I'll pay you back next month. Okay? I'm just giving you an example. So he said, okay, Abu Ayman, because you're my friend, I'll give you 1,000. But you pay me back 1,200. See? So you gave me 1,000. You say, I'll pay you back 1,200 or 1,100. That is a riba. That is an interest. So it is haram to take it. You just have to take, فَلَكُمْ رُؤُوسُ أَمْوَالِكُمْ لَا تَظْلِمُونَ وَلَا تُظْلَمُونَ. You take your capital sum, meaning exact money you gave to me. Don't take more than that. If you take more than that, because of the time, that you allowed me, that is haram. Okay, you have riba nasi'a, you have the riba because of the increment or the time and so forth. All kind of riba are haram. Okay, any last question? Yes, give it the brother mic. Use the mic, please. And this is the last one, inshallah. Is the mic on?
There was talk about the riba.
Yes. I forgot the question, right? It's okay. It happens.
No, okay. There is something which is called the Islamic something.
Financing.
Financing.
Yes.
Okay, the banks, they say it's interest and they say service charge.
Okay.
What's the difference between the two?
Okay. Well, first of all, you heard the question, brothers asking what is the difference between riba that we talk about and then the service, fee and so forth. So basically, in the Quran, Allah Azza wa mentioned وَأَحَلَّ اللَّهُ الْبَيْعَ وَحَرَّمَ الرِّبَى. أَحَلَّ اللَّهُ الْبَيْعَ meaning Allah Azza wa made it lawful. Al-bay'a means trade gain and transaction. So you have profits. But riba is haram. So if you are doing transaction and you charge for service fee, according to Sharia, it is permissible. For service fee. You understand? You define what the service is, and then you have a term of agreement. I charge you this for this service and that. It is fine. But if you charge me for any other thing, for example, as we explained, that I need to take my line of credit or whatever, and then I have to pay such and such amount, it is riba, and it is haram, unless it is life and death situation, or you're trying to save a life, and you have no any other alternative. There are examples of exceptions, because you don't have alternative, and then you deal with it. Now, so the interest, it is haram. Riba nasi'a or riba al-ajal. Interest, it is clear. Service fee for the khidmah. Someone asked me, for example, let me give an example, that he's buying a car, for example, and he has an option, or for example, a new plans for his house. Anyway, so, and there is daman. Daman is like for warranty. And for the warranty, it's an option. If you want this warranty, you have to pay such an amount for the warranty. So he called me. He said, is it halal if he would like to pay for the daman, for the warrant? I said, yes, it is permissible. He asked me, he said, can I explain to him why I said it's permissible? I said, it's muqabil al-khidmah. It's for service. They're not charging you this because of late fee or anything. It's muqabil al-khidmah. So when you buy this warrant for 1 year, for 2 years, for 3 years, and you have a problem, they fix it for free. For its muqabil al-khidmah. I don't know what I'm explaining this. So this explains your payment that you pay for the go ahead.
Okay, the reason I brought it because let's say the bank tells you exactly that you are going to pay in interest $200. Okay, and then the other bank, which is called the Islamic, you are going to pay $200 in service charge. The amount you are paying is the same. It's just the name they are using in order to.
Let me say this, but I'm gonna. It's very complicated. This needs like a whole workshop or a whole lecture to explain the fine details and the differences in terms of the contractual agreements and so forth. Now, but in terms of Islamic financing, I'll just give you some example. They will not confiscate your building if you fail or when you fail to make payment. For example, 1 month or 2 months or 3 months and so forth. I'm saying this because I know. I bought a property in Texas through Islamic financing. So they will explain the whole thing. For example, with the conventional bank, if you fail to pay, they will foreclose the house. Through Islamic financing, they will give you, time to work around it and so forth. And so there are differences. There are differences. I'm not, going to, comparison this and that. But with the Islamic financing, they try. That's the word. Let me say it again. They try to make sure that the Islamic Sharia compliant. That's the thing. They try to make sure that it is Islamic Sharia compliant to their best of ability. So, is it perfect? No, it's not. I'll tell you straight. Is it perfect? It's not perfect. But it's better than the alternative. It's better than the alternative. Even between the Islamic banking system that they have, like in the United States, they have few different, how do you call it, companies. Some of them are better than others in terms of services, and also even in the contract and agreement. We have been in conferences dealing solely with banking system and the contract, and reviewing the contract of each different institution, doing comparison and advising them which one is lacking this and that, so that they will step up, because they say it's Islamic financing and people take their word for that. So is it perfect? It's not, but it's better than the alternative, yes. So like you said, it's muqabil al-khidma. They give you charges for services. They don't call it interest. So it is what it is. Services is services. This says it's interest. So you hear from the name. So you take what it is. Allahu a'lam. To be continued. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم.